Out of all the places you may want to visit, one spot that you might want to avoid is hell. Especially in Dante Alighieri's poem Inferno from the year 1314, hell is painted out to be a place of endless suffering, torture, and grief. Today will be different though. We're going to be exploring hell in its entirety. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Sabria.
And welcome to hell.
To give you some context, the Inferno captures the story of Dante, a lost traveler, and Virgil, his faithful guide. The two companions travel through hell together, exploring different sins and talking to various sinners. Hell consists of 10 circles, with each circle representing a different sin. In this video, we'll be looking at the first 3 circles, or the upper layer of hell. These are the least severe sins in the Inferno. Let's start with Limbo.
What's Limbo? Like the game?
No, silly. Limbo is at the edge of hell, and in it resides those who haven't sinned but lived before the time of Christ or were unbaptized.
Essentially, it consisted of virtuous non-Christians, and notably philosophers such as Aristotle, Socrates, and Plato.
Limbo is set in dark, gloomy woods. Even some important biblical figures were in hell, like Adam, Abel, and Noah, but since they were born before Christ, they have to face eternal darkness. Right off the bat, we see that the entry to hell is ruled by strict guidelines, and even the most famous on earth are not exempt from their sins.
Let's travel down to the second circle of hell, which is known as lust. This is where it starts to get more intense.
Lust refers to sexual acts solely as a form of pleasure, such as adultery. The punishment? Those who lust are violently swept by strong winds and never have a day of peace and rest.
We can see that lust has its respective contrapasso.
Wait, hold up. What is that?
Oh, Sabria. Contrapasso comes from the Latin words contra and patuor, meaning suffer the opposite. In the Inferno, contrapasso refers to the resemblance or contrast with the sin itself.
So like a reflection of sin, right?
Exactly. So for lust, the contrapasso is being blown by the storm, just as the sinners were blown by their sexual desires during life. Let's go down to the third circle of hell, which is gluttony. Gluttony is the act of overconsumption in food, drink, or wealth. Here, sinners are met with terrible weather and are forced to move in muck, reflecting the overindulgence in their lifetimes.
Interesting. The hierarchy of hell seems to be contingent upon levels of personal greed. For instance, those in lust do not exactly choose to be born before Jesus. Conversely, those who lust choose to act on their sexual desires, and those in gluttony choose to overindulge. The Inferno pushes the idea that each individual has control over its sins, but instead of following God's path, they choose personal greed.
That's it for the upper layer of hell. Click on the next tab labeled Middle Layer to continue your journey.